Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel First Time Mom. All those of you who are here for the first time, please consider subscribing, sharing and liking my videos with all the moms who are in the need of it. Today guys, I am back with my second episode of podcast and today I have Blanca as my special guest. Guys, Blanca is a big YouTuber. She has a huge fan following and what she does is awesome. She has a video for all of you. I know she does hauls, she does makeup, she does gender reveal things, baby things, motherhood things, anything and everything. She is a big YouTuber. I guess you should go ahead and follow her. Her YouTube channel's name is Blanca's Life, and all other social media platforms of Blanca I'll put down in the description box below. Please go ahead and follow her. Let's go straight away towards the postcard and listen what Blanca has to share with us. Hello and welcome everyone to this second episode of podcast, and today we have one more very special guest, which is Blanca. She is also a YouTube creator. She is present in all the social media, and now you will hear her voice and what she does with her YouTube channel.
Hi everyone, my name is Blanca and I do have a YouTube channel called Blanca's Life. And I also have a Instagram, which you guys can follow me. It's Blanca underscore Beatrice, spelled Beatriz underscore. And I just document everything from motherhood. I started my channel back in 2018 when I became a brand new mom. And it's been a whirlwind because I went from like a full-time working mom to a stay-at-home military spouse now.
Oh, so you are the perfect choice for our podcast today. So let's
Thank
quickly
you.
begin with I'll put in description everything, all your social media platforms I'll put in the description box so all the people can go ahead and follow Blanca for knowing her and her life. So let's
Thank
begin,
you.
Blanca, today. Tell me something about your pregnancy because now the world is like way different
Oh
than
yes,
it used to
very.
be back in the year 2018. So how was your pregnancy story? How was your pregnancy life?
Oh, well, this pregnancy is definitely different, not even just because we're in a pandemic, but just the symptoms. This first trimester, I was throwing up, I was nauseous, just sick. With my first daughter, I didn't experience any of that until maybe the second trimester where I would like
Oh.
have occasional nausea and just throw up. But the first trimester this time around, constantly every single time around 6 o'clock, I would just throw up or wake up in the middle of the night. And
Uh-oh.
subsequently it got better. I'm no longer nauseous or throwing up. So in that sense, that's a lot different.
Uh-huh.
And obviously with COVID, I'm wearing a mask every time I go out. It's getting harder and harder to breathe, not just because I'm wearing a mask, because also I'm getting a lot bigger.
Okay.
But
So you are like trying to adjust any way and every way you can in your second pregnancy, right?
pretty much, yeah.
And how are your like visits to your OBGYN going on?
Initially, everything was in person. I've only had one visit. I believe it was in April
Mm-hmm.
that it was a virtual call where
Uh-huh.
I was just discussing with the nurse how I was feeling, any symptoms, any changes, and all of like the blood work that was done the month prior. So that was the only like change that happened.
Uh-huh.
Most of my recent visits have been in person now.
Oh, so now the things are getting back to track, right?
Yeah.
But what do you feel like a difference between like your first pregnancy and your second pregnancy? Like what were the things that happened to you when you went for your first scan in your first pregnancy? And now what are the things happening when you went for your first scan in your second pregnancy?
I mean, I don't know. This time around, I felt a little more anxious than I did the first time around, even though um, with my first pregnancy, I was going quite frequent in the
Uh-huh.
beginning because I almost had a miscarriage.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of the ultrasounds were a little bit more frequent.
Frequent. Mm-hmm.
This time around, everything was a-okay, but halfway through, for some reason I was just getting anxious. I think it had to do a lot with like obviously with COVID and
COVID.
then just being away from family because we are living in a different state now.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's just been a lot more pressure, I guess,
Yeah,
just to
it
have
is always
everything in
with
order.
this. I have said this in my first podcast also, and I'm going to say this in my second also, that world is way different in this pandemic rather than anywhere else. Like, I in my life have not seen anything of this potential, of this energy. Like, I have not experienced anything like that. Everyone is experiencing a little bit of this pandemic in
Yes.
their own life, but the most hit ones are, I know people say that the ones who are going to the job, the ones who are going to do this, do that, were most affected. But for me, the pregnant moms are the most
Hmm.
affected, because although we are like facing a lot of change in our body, a lot of change in our emotions and hormones, and upon that, all this pandemic is just like a cherry on the cake to bring more of the
Yes.
anxiousness, anxiety, all over the top. So how are you maintaining your toddler in your pregnancy, especially in this time when there are not many people to help you around?
Hmm. Just trying to find ways to entertain her. Some days, I'll be quite frank, she'll be watching TV just like she is right now in order to get things done.
No
Because
need to be like feeling that you have given a screen. Most of the moms do. We are humans. We like filter out of energy at the end of the day. We have to give
Mhm.
them something to get a me time of at least 10 minutes.
Yeah, because
Uh,
like, if you don't have like at least 5 minutes to yourself, you feel like,
and somewhere I feel it's just a stigma of not providing them the screen. I know they are going to get the screen, not now, after few years they are going to get it. So why not, if you're going to like filter out that frustration just by giving them a 5 minute or 10 minute of screen time, it's okay. I just feel it fine. There's no problem.
Mhm.
So how is your husband going on? Is he taking all the heat of the pregnancy right now because there is nobody else or in your family?
I mean, there's been a lot of like mood swings here and there. So
I know.
sometimes I'll just be like, ah, and he's like, oh, okay, well, let me take the baby and give you a little break, and we'll
Yeah.
be right back.
Oh yeah. Oh, he's so
So he's
supporting.
very
That's so
understanding.
lovely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's very
Yeah.
understanding.
But I know that now you might be quite confident because it's your second pregnancy and not your first. So you know what all things will happen and how to cope up with them. Am I right?
Yes, well, except for like the labor and delivery part, because with my first one, I had a C-section. It wasn't like something planned. It just, I didn't progress far enough, and
Okay.
it had been like 24 hours since my water broke. So they were really
Okay.
concerned with that.
Uh-huh.
This time around, I'm trying to have a VBAC, and
Okay.
the military hospital has been very supportive of that decision.
Oh,
I think in a month we're going to like have a discussion about my VBAC and how
how are you going to do that?
yeah, like yeah, basically how successful my rate will be in having one, or whether it would be better to just have a repeat C-section. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I can definitely have a VBAC, because recovery for a C-section
I
is
know.
no joke.
I know. Hats off to all the mommies who have been through C-section. Like I'll say I was quite lucky in my pregnancy. I had a normal delivery and the labor was just like for 2 hours, and I
Yeah.
went into the hospital. Yeah, and just 7 to 8 pushes and the baby was out. So I was like quite lucky in this sense, but still, the mommies who go through C-section, hats off to them. Nothing less than that.
Yeah, definitely. And like, I feel like right now with a toddler and then
Uh-huh.
having to take care of a newborn, to have a C-section and have like no family support, I'm like, oh, this is going to be way tougher than the first time around.
Now you have a toddler to take care, and then you will also have a newborn to take care. So you know how much your energy is going to be exhausted into it.
Exactly. Yeah, non-existent
All
basically.
wishes and luck to you, mommy.
Thank you.
Oh my good lord. Okay, so let me tell you, let us just discuss how is your husband doing? Like, what does he do? How is he coping with your pregnancy? What does
Mhm.
he helps you with?
Now he helps out a lot. Like he'll shower Riley, because at this point now,
Uh-huh.
I can't put her into the bathtub or take her out because it's just a bit too dangerous to say the
Yeah,
least.
right now, yeah.
Um, he'll change her diaper. He'll make meals, because there's certain like food I cannot smell still, because it'll just
Yeah,
make me gag.
yeah,
It would
yeah.
be like
I
chicken.
understand that.
So he has stepped up a lot, definitely. And then like with work, He's definitely taken his precautions with taking off his shoes and his clothes at the door, putting it into the laundry, and just washing it, making sure that he's not bringing anything into the house.
Oh, and I hope the daycares are still closed for the toddlers and everything. You cannot send your toddlers to the daycares in school right now?
I believe it's only open for essential workers. So, like,
Okay.
even for the military, I think it's mostly for um, families who are dual, or they
Uh-huh.
have, if I'm not mistaken, they're working in like the hospital or some sort of medical field.
Oh, so you have to have the toddler for all day by yourself, along with being pregnant with a newborn,
Pretty
right?
much, yes.
Hats off to you. You are so strong.
Thank you. Some days, like, I'm like, how did I get through today? I really don't know.
It happens, right? Once when I was pregnant and I was in my third trimester, I took it as a like swear that I'm not going to give a birth to another child. That's enough.
Yeah,
Like I'm not going to give a birth. I'm not going to get pregnant. But yeah, when they start growing up, it's like let's get one another one.
like, this wasn't really planned. We're like, we'll wait until she's like 3 and not
Uh-huh.
so much drinking the bottle and
Yeah.
not in diapers. And then it's like, whoops.
Yeah, and then
Pregnant.
they start growing up. So, like my daughter, I still remember like the first day we brought her home from the hospital,
Mhm.
and now she's quite big enough to eat her food by her own self. Like
Yes.
she doesn't bother or she doesn't wait for me that I'll put the food on the plate and then she'll go ahead or I'll feed her. No, she'll have it by herself. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
mine just started opening up the fridge. She's like, okay, you're taking forever. I'm just
Oh,
gonna go grab food.
yeah, they're like, okay, you take your time, we'll do it by ourselves. So
Pretty
yeah,
much.
they grow up quite quickly, and then your mind is like, okay, let's do once again. Like I
Yeah.
went through a normal delivery, like normal vaginal push. So
Mhm.
I was like, I'm not going to do another one. But then now, since she's all grown up, I'm like also thinking, okay, let's have another one. We'll have one more baby around.
And I would always like think to myself, like, how do people have like multiple pregnancies, like one after the other?
Yeah.
And people would say, it's like, you just forget the pain. I'm like, but how do you forget the pain? And
Yeah.
then, then you yourself experience, you're like, oh, okay, definitely,
Yeah.
I get it now.
Yeah, the funny thing that happened with me is was like I always used to ask my nurse or midwife like how are the contractions be like, when they'll start, what will I do when the contractions start, what will I do when the water breaks. She said, darling, you'll know when the water breaks, you will
Like,
know when the contractions
oh,
start. And I never used to believe her. And like, why is she doing, she's not taking care of me, I'm a first time mom,
is
I
that
don't know
telling me
things.
anything?
Yeah. How can you say like you will know? And trust me, when the contractions really started, I knew that this was a contraction. This is I'm like I'm going into a labor. I knew this. So
Oh, yeah,
yeah, yeah, that's the same thing when they say you forget the pain. Right. It's just
pretty
so
much.
true. It's just so true. So how have you all been, yeah, like how have your life been with all this work and then a stay-at-home mom and now a military wife?
It's been different. I mean, I don't know. I just have to like coordinate things around,
Uh-huh.
shift things. When I was doing YouTube and working as a full-time mom, I was filming at the same schedule that I kind of am right now, where, either nap time, bedtime, or whenever she was just, entertained.
Yeah.
That's basically when I get to film and edit. And
Uh-huh.
then when I had family members come over and they wanted to play with her or they wanted to take care of her, then I would, just either edit or work on other things or
Yeah.
sleep, basically.
Basically. That's what all the moms want. Like if we
Yeah,
have 2 minutes, we'll take a power nap.
pretty much.
That's so nice. That was like so good. Let's just talk about your family. How are they being like? They, I know they cannot see your baby bump. They cannot see
Yeah.
they cannot have the gender reveal party or something. So how are they reacting to this time to your pregnancy?
I mean, this time around, it's a lot different. As
Uh-huh.
like we said before,
Yeah.
the gender reveal, we had it over Zoom, which was completely like not the plan.
Virtual.
Yeah, we wanted to have everybody fly in, but
Uh-huh.
COVID and everything, that was not possible. I
Mm.
did tell my mom when she came here, like right before everything went crazy,
Uh-huh.
she was here with us, and I was able to tell her in person that, like, hey, we're bringing a new baby.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was really nice.
Okay.
But everything has now just, we're thinking
Change.
of virtual and stuff. Like even we were debating about even having like a baby shower slash sprinkle, and my mom's
Uh-huh.
like, well, we could do it just virtually. I mean, it's no big deal. I'm like, but it's not the same.
Oh, yeah, but things have just been,
But we just have to
like,
adjust and adapt.
yeah, it's just have been around screen and internet and WhatsApp and Zoom call. That's
Mhm.
all. That's all. Like for my daughter, she has not been out since like 4 to 5 months, and she's like nowadays, like she's having a meltdown like every 5 minutes. Like she
Yes.
just wants to go out. She just wants to meet her friends, meet people,
Mhm.
and she's having meltdown like every 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, no, what we do is like we'll go out for like little walks because we do have a track right behind the apartment complex. So
Oh.
if there's not a lot of people, we'll go out for walks and just let her like
Okay.
discharge all the energy she has.
That's so cool. Now mine, we live in a town, and so we don't really have a place where there are not no so many people. There are almost cars and everything going on, so we just cannot take her out. And now the problem is like now she is not able to sleep properly. So this is like one thing which I'm dealing with. So anything that you are dealing with your toddler during all this pandemic and everything?
Yeah, oh no, like definitely the tantrums have gotten like worse. If I take away just like anything that she wants to play with that's like minorly dangerous, she flips out. If I tell her no, she is just going crazy. So it's like we gotta take a break, take a breather, let's rewind and just figure things out.
Yeah,
Because
it,
if
it
not, like,
it's hard for the kids, especially for
yeah,
us elders. We can understand how important being in the lockdown is, but the kids they are not quite getting it, and
and even
especially
for us,
after, yeah, especially after 3 to 4 months, it is getting
yeah.
difficult. I don't know what the people say, but it is getting difficult for
I
all
think
of us now.
they call it cabin fever.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So
Like it's getting difficult now.
yeah.
Wow, where to spend our energy on?
hmm So like if it's hard for us, like imagine for a toddler that can't even express how they're feeling. The only way to do that is by yelling, screaming, crying, throwing themselves on the floor, and you just got to be like, okay, well, they're not doing it on purpose. They're
Yeah.
just trying to express how they're feeling, and this is the only way that they can.
Anything special that you want our viewers to know about you, or any suggestions or any advice for the new moms or the moms who are pregnant?
Definitely, like if I had known this beforehand, like for night feedings, use a zipper onesie or like maybe even the magnetic ones that they have. I don't know how
True.
efficient those things are, but definitely a zipper one because the button onesies are just going to be terrible for night feedings. They will wake up your baby and then you have to put your baby back to sleep, and that's like the worst thing you want to do when you're trying to get sleep yourself in the first couple of weeks. So definitely get like a onesie, some hats, keep it simple. Don't try to put them in cute outfits quite yet,
Yeah.
just because they want to feel comfortable and you want them to be, sleeping as much as possible so that you can get some rest as well.
That was a lovely advice, and let me tell all my viewers that it's coming from a mom's experience, so it had to be right. Just follow her, and your life will be all simple. So thank you so much, Blanca, for being
Thank
here on
you.
my podcast and being such a lovely guest. Thank you so much for
Thank
being
you so
here.
much. You're welcome, and thank you as well.
So, guys, this was Blanca sharing her experience and wisdom words with all of us. I would suggest everyone once again to just go ahead and follow her channel for more experiencing videos. So, guys, if you too want to be a guest on my podcast, please use my business email in the description box. Send me your story. If you think the world should know about you, let me know, and I will have you as a next guest on my podcast. Thank you so much everyone for watching the video and supporting me. Bye bye.